I've been working full-time, trying to do my final year of school, finish my niece's birthday present, and put on an excellent Thanksgiving dinner. But none of that is the reason this review is so late. The idea of talking about this episode just made the bile rise in my throat. Hello, geeks, freaks, and all those unique. This is Emcee Frodis. Despite worshipping the Cisco, adoring Data, and having uncontrollable lust for Spock, none of their shows are the Star Treks I watch the most. Lower Decks for me is an absolute comfort that I'll put on when I'm tired and just want to veg out, or if I need to calm down from something. It is the Trek equivalent of a bowl of chicken soup for me. There is no episode I dislike. But now we've arrived at episode 7 of season 3, a mathematically perfect redemption, and yikes, just yikes. When we were first introduced to Peanut Hamper in the season 1 finale, No Small Parts, I really didn't think anything about her. She was a character who appeared, only to unceremoniously nope out during the action. She was a character who worked in that story, but I can't say I was super interested in where that story was going. When the image of her reappearing was shown at Mission Chicago, my reaction was, hey, Peanut Hamper, that's something. I think they could have done something interesting with bringing her back. However, that's not what they did. They did this instead. I don't like to bag on an episode too hard, and I don't think I've bagged on one this hard since Spock and Mock, but I also haven't disliked an episode as much since that one, and if anything, I strive for honesty with you fine folks. I don't like to complain, so I can be a caustic critic who does nothing but yell at the camera for 20 minutes and call that humor. I think the problem with this episode lay in the fact that there's nothing that Peanut Hamper does that we don't already know about her already. She was a thoroughly unlikable character in No Small Parts, and she continues that in this episode. Any of the good things she does are only for selfish reasons, and she doesn't even really feign compassion or anything remotely resembling a redemption arc. When the rug gets pulled out from under us at the end, the viewer is just left thinking, that rug didn't look all that secure in the first place. Another problem isn't just the lack of charm of Peanut Hamper, but the lack of any of the characters we do find charming. We only get what is basically cameos from our main cast. Now, this can work sometimes. Just look at the Next Generation episode, Lower Decks. That episode didn't focus much on the main characters, but it created compelling characters that we didn't mind following for the length of an episode. But if Peanut Hamper is going to be the center stage in an episode, we need to balance that out with appearances from characters we love. And it doesn't have to be the Lower Deckers. There are a lot of characters on the show that I would love to see take center stage. One of my favorite episodes is the one that focuses on Billups, because I find Billups so undeniably charming. Every scene with Tahana and Shax is gold for me. These are the characters I really want to see get fleshed out more, rather than Peanut Hamper. Things might have been able to have been saved if the story involving Peanut Hamper were at all interesting. When we first saw the image of her, I thought maybe we'd have her go a straight Wrath of Khan on the Cerritos, because she was so self-absorbed that she thought they'd abandon her, even though it was actually the other way around. Instead, we got kind of a warmed-over Avatar parody, which we all know wasn't even all that original to begin with. We have the noble savages, who are mocked constantly by Peanut Hamper. There is the love interest, who is obviously going to become the love interest, and it's made worse by the fact that Peanut Hamper was planning to marry him for no reason other than to stave off boredom, because she was going to leave him whenever she had the chance. It was just unpleasant. I don't know if there's any other way to say it. I found it to be uncomfortable and unpleasant, and a really not fun way to spend 24 minutes. I'm trying to think of something positive to say about this episode, and probably the only thing I can say is the episode looked really nice. From Peanut Hamper in the debris field all the way to the design of Areolus. Everything was designed and animated very nicely. It's just a real shame that such a nicely drawn episode was wasted on this particular story. Even Jeffrey Combs at the end isn't something that I would put in the plus column, because it acted as a sequel hook to this episode, and I don't want a sequel hook. Peanut Hamper is not a character I'm interested in revisiting a third time, even if they have her go full villain. If we do get her coming back, I would say it should only be for a cold open in the episode where Peanut Hamper gets her and Agamus out of their confinement, and Agamus immediately double-crosses her, and then he's the focus. Agamus is a character I don't mind having back, and I think it could be interesting if he's more powerful, but Peanut Hamper, I don't feel a deep need to see her any more of her. I don't know if this is one of the worst episodes of Star Trek. There are some episodes I find much worse, especially because the subject matter is very problematic. This episode might just seem worse for me because the bar for Lower Decks is so ridiculously high. 27 episodes in, and I think this is the first miss. While I know other fans have episodes they don't think are very good, I've never had one that I don't enjoy watching multiple times. This one, I haven't rewatched this episode since it first aired, not even to write this review. And I can't see it being one that I ever rewatch, unless it's because I'm doing a watch-along with friends, and this, for some reason, is the episode that gets chosen. When it comes to what people think of as the worst episodes of Star Trek, Spock's Brain, Sub Rosa, Threshold, I can find something redeemable in all of them, even if it's just the schlocky, camp, so bad it's good vibe that comes with it. I don't get that from this episode. It just doesn't make me feel good. I can't think of anything in this episode that would compel me to revisit it. And if the writers decide to forget that Peanut Hamper exists, I'd be absolutely fine with that. So comment down below with your thoughts on A Mathematically Perfect Redemption. If you like my videos, subscribe to my channel. I've managed to pass 200 subscribers, and I love all of you for helping me manage that in just the one video in which I asked. We're already on the way towards the next goal, so help me reach it. I do videos about Star Trek, Star Wars, and lots of other geeky things. If you want to support me, please visit my Patreon. You can also buy me a coffee, or you can go to my Redbubble and TeePublic to buy my geeky graphic designs, which I'm not wearing today because I couldn't even muster up the energy to change into something nice. You can find me on all platforms as Emcee Frodis. On Patreon, subscribers can also get exclusive access to my Star Trek 2009 rewrite. So until next time, live long and may the Force be with you.